cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know.
What's up, good people, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, Media 96, along with Freddie G, K Money, and Slash. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. I want everybody that's on YouTube to go out and subscribe and click the like button. Follow us on X at 52 Scott Podcast and on IG and Facebook at the 52 Scott Podcast. What's up, good people, and welcome back to another edition of Think Thursday. Today's topic, friends. How many of us have them? Y'all remember that by Houdini, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, so this comes along in the lines of, I don't know if you guys have been looking at the news. Jam Master Jay, back in, I think it was 2000 and 2002, the murder of the prolific DJ and member of Run DMC, Jam Master Jay. Well, there were two men that were found guilty of his murder, and they just so happened to be friends. And also,
The two men were friends, or
two men were friends of Jam Master Jay.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. And it comes along the line of Boosie. Boosie said something. This is a couple years back. I want to say it was during COVID. He said that, and I want us to discuss it. He said that when you make it in your city, you need to move out of your city, because Boosie is from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, but he no longer lives there. He lives in Atlanta. And he said, once you get big, you need to move. So I just want to kind of touch on that. And before that, I want y'all to listen to the news clipping from NBC New York on the Jam Master Jay verdict.
Some breaking news at 4 o'clock. A guilty verdict just handed up in the Jam Master Jay murder trial. I'm David Ushery.
I'm Natalie Pasquarella. News 4's Erica Byfield live outside a court in Lower Manhattan with these breaking details. Erica.
That's right, Natalie. There are actually two defendants in this case. Both of them were found guilty on the two counts that are in this case. One of them related to a drug conspiracy charge and murder. The other one related to a weapons charge in addition to that murder. The person they are accused of murdering is Jam Master Jay. He is the prolific hip-hop DJ associated with the group Run DMC. Tell you this trial lasted about a month or so. There were some fireworks actually after this verdict was read inside the courtroom today. This happened today around 3:30 this afternoon. One of the defendants jumped up and he said, "Y'all just killed some innocent people," and then he shouted, "Get me out of here." As he was being escorted out of the courtroom, the other co-defendant in this case, he yelled out, "I love y'all," addressing his family that was there in the courtroom. And then we heard many of his family members start yelling things back, like the jury didn't listen to the facts in this case. A woman yelled out, "That's my son." We started hearing, "Don't touch me." You all know he didn't do that. That is when the U.S. Marshals swooped in. There was some pushing, there was a little bit of shoving, and
Yeah, so now Boosie to me made a valid statement. Because I've noticed, let's take for example, what's the guy from Dallas, Mo 3 and the guy that just
Yellow Beezy.
Yellow Beezy. Weren't they friends?
Yeah, they were back in the day.
They were friends. So it kind of does shine some light on what Boosie is saying, and kind of backs it up. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think that's valid? Wouldn't you, if you were to get big, you start making millions, could you still be friends with the friends you had from your childhood? Could we still roll out the third ward in a Vet or a Lambo?
I mean, you definitely can. I just think, it depends on the people you grew up with. You know just as well as they do the type of person that they are. So if you make it to a certain level of success, you have to start weeding out, individuals Now, if they take it a certain way when you try to weed them out, then that kind of lets you know, okay, you made the right move. But if they a true day one, they'll understand because you'll still be their friend and y'all still be fucking around. It's just not no day to day type of thing.
I agree with K Money, and then also, man, you gotta look at Jam Master Jay's situation. Allegedly, this was involving a failed drug deal. So if you are participating, I don't care about your fame and I don't care about how much money you got. If you are participating in illegal activity such as drugs, well, death is surrounded by drug activity.
But your friend?
Well, look at it this way. I get it. But if it's a drug deal and you mess your friend out of some money, a big, large amount of money, man, you never know what a guy do if you done messed over him in such a way to where he feels like, okay, I'm going to unalive you for whatever reason.
Man, that's terrible because I just there shouldn't be no amount of money that will make you want to kill me. No amount of jealousy. Shit.
Man, you know money is the root of all evil.
It is. But with that, guys, man, it's so many. This is not one of the first instances where this has happened, right? So there were too many instances, and I'm going to go over a few of them. These first three we may not know, or we just may not remember, but this is around our time frame. But the next 9 you will know. So back in '78, Bob Crane. Do y'all remember that name, Bob Crane?
Ichabod Crane?
He was murdered by John Henry Carpenter, alleged. And they were close friends and video co-conspirators. Carpenter was tried but not convicted, but still widely they believed that he did it. So, yeah, I don't know that one. Here's another one. Barbara Colby, and this seems like a girlfriend-boyfriend relationship, I'm not sure, was murdered by James Kierman, a friend and an acting student back in 1975. It's a random shooting, but often viewed as a tragic loss of 2 friends. I don't know that one, and it's going to get interesting here shortly. You're going to know this one. Giovanni Versace.
Yeah, Andrew Cunanan.
Yeah. I've heard, what's the rapper? Shine. Andrew Cunanan ass nigga. My True Cannons Blast niggas.
Check this out. Here goes something crazy story.
Yeah.
You know Andrew Cunanan used to hang out in San Diego.
Really?
And when probably about a day or two, when before he actually unalived Versace, I actually was at a club that he was there. I don't know him, didn't see him, but they showed a particular club that he frequent.
Yeah,
and he was there.
Damn. Well, Andrew Cunanan, he knew him socially. Some sources suggest prior. So, yeah, that one is Cunanan killed several others before Versace, though. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that?
Nah.
Yeah, Gordon here, they say he's killed.
So he was a serial?
I guess he was a serial, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was, like y'all said, money. Money is the root of all evil. You just said that. Robert Bud Dwyer. Sorry, yeah, Robert Bud Dwyer. Y'all know that person?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, they betrayed by colleagues and friends during a bribery scandal in 1987. Don't know that person. Krista Worthington was murdered by Christopher McCowan, acquaintances of a garbage collector for her. Oh my good, the garbage man and killed. Never mind. I'm not gonna. You know what? I ain't gonna do that. I'm comedian 96. I'll go all left with that. Shonda Scherer was murdered by Melinda Loveless and friends. Now that's crazy. Now I have just seen that on the internet where the class, this is happening a lot. They're going on trips, taking their friends on trips, and then this just happened, and then they killed her. Oh, what was it?
Was it Hawaii you talking about? The little girl from she did hair.
Yes.
And the high school kids, I think they were.
Yeah, and I just allegedly heard one about a girl just had a baby shower. They had a whole baby shower for her. Killed her at her, but they didn't kill her. They killed the baby because they beat her up and killed the baby at her baby shower. Now that's some friends for you. And these some friends. They actually set the baby shower, or you took the time out, spent your money, set up a baby shower, and then beat up the girl to kill the baby. That's crazy. That's crazy, boy. You got some hell of friends out here, man. Oof.
Well, I mean, what I learned as a kid, man, real young, I was taught, my parents taught me some stuff, man, and you have to live with that. My mom, I can remember her saying, your real friends you'll be able to count on one hand. That meaning if you got more than 5 real friends, you don't really have more than 5 real friends, because out of those 5, there's going to be 1 or 2 that's more loyal than the other 3 or 4. So, I mean, 5 friends is too much.
I think 5 is the max, especially
real
at our
friends.
real friends. Like
I'm not associates.
Yeah,
real friends that you can call on when something goes wrong with you, and they can help you at that point in time.
Yes,
you don't have that many of those.
Yeah, you don't.
You can't expect everybody to be one.
That's true. You got a point.
Man, I forgot about that phrase saying you can count your friends.
Count your friends on one hand.
That's a fact,
yeah,
too, bro.
I mean, if any 2 ways, when people say, "Oh man, all my friends are," and I got all of these friends, and you got too many friends.
You got too many friends.
Somebody ain't. You are not the friend to some of those people. They may be your friend, but you're not friends to some of those people. They're not gonna treat you like a friend.
And I'm sure in these situations or examples, none of these people were being counted on their hand.
Nah, and these people probably didn't even think that these people would have done anything to them. You don't expect your friends to do nothing, but that's why you don't consider everybody a friend.
Thanks.
That's the first thing we need to learn as adults, or if we need to teach this to the younger generation. Everybody ain't your friend.
Everybody ain't your friend. Everybody ain't your partner.
Look at what I mean.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yeah.
Everybody ain't your friend.
Yeah, exactly. Phil Hartman. This name sounds familiar. Murdered by Brian Hartman.
Phil Hartman was an actor, a white guy, right?
Yes, 1998.
Yeah, I think he was some kind of actor. Or something.
Killed by his wife. Mm-hmm.
His wife killed him.
Yeah, spouse. Yep, spouse and confidant. She killed him while he was sleeping, then took her own life.
Oh, she was bold.
Yeah,
she was serious about it too.
Didn't that happen to one of the football players?
Yeah, Steve McNair.
But
that was his mistress.
That's right. Now, this one I did not know. Dominique Dunn was murdered by John Thompson Sweeney, her ex-boyfriend, in 1982. They had a personal relationship, basically, that turned violent. Sort of like the. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Y'all gonna know these next 3. Marvin Gaye.
Yeah, his dad, right?
Marvin Gaye Sr., his father, and they lived together, and they were close at the time. That was in 1984. So they saying they had a complicated relationship with both family and personal tension. So I don't know the whole backstories of that, but how his father killed him?
Yeah, I don't know what was behind it, but it's sad.
Now that's damn.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Number 2. Y'all gonna know this one too. John Lennon from
the Beatles.
One of the Beatles.
Yeah. Murdered by Mark David Chapman. Actually, it wasn't a friend that killed him. It was a fan who had interacted with him a day earlier. So that's crazy. So your friends, like you said, sometimes your friends are really a fan and not really a friend, just like you just said. Man, it's crazy.
You don't know who to trust, man, no more. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah. And this is one of the ones, this is number one, and this is the singer that I said was if she was still alive.
Selena.
Murdered by Yolanda Salvador. She's the president of a fan club and close confidant in 1995.
That's crazy.
How you getting this bread?
But that had to have been some money stuff too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we
you
don't
know
know.
it was greed, bro.
It had to have been greed.
Be.
Yeah.
It had to be. It had to be, man. But I just don't understand. I don't.
She had to be in a good position. I feel what you're saying. She should have been in a good position, working, you know, with this lady hands on.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, though, you know, it only comes from one side that we looking at. We don't know what the attitude of Selena was and how she treated other people. You know, it's a lot involved with that celebrity stuff because some of them have an ego that's just kind of out of control. And real people, you know, that's not a celebrity don't really want to deal with that, especially if they're employed by the celebrity. So maybe they'll take so much because it's involving their paycheck, but after so long, you know, and like I say, I don't know the cause of Selena's demise, but I just think that we don't know what happens with these people. So not saying whose fault or who's at fault, but we just never know how stuff happens, you know.
Exactly. Okay, the bus here a little early today, y'all. I'm gonna tell you why. This bus segment, we might be on here a little while today because of who I'm kicking off. Today, we are kicking off LeBron James.
Wow. LeBron.
And I'm gonna tell you why we kicking him off.
Why we kicking LeBron?
I'm tell you why I'm kicking him off, okay? Number one, let's start here. LeBron is a great player, but he's not better than Jordan. He ain't even close. All right? He's a great player. If you look up his triple doubles for the 22 seasons that he's been, 22 years, he's got 106. Now, look up Russell Westbrook, who's only been in the season 15 years. He has 203 triple doubles. Now, can you agree that LeBron can get 10 points anytime he wants? Can you agree he can get 10 rebounds anytime he wants? And as long as the people on his team are hitting their shots, he can get 10 assists almost anytime he wants. And that's the thing. I don't think LeBron showed a great effort to me as a basketball player, as big as he was. You won't run into too many LeBron Jameses, but that's not why I'm kicking him off. That's just my personal reason. I'm kicking him off because I think he's a bully. I think he's a true bully. He bullied Stephen A. Smith, right? He bullied Stephen A. Smith. But then when Kevin Gates talked about him on the internet and then showed up front row seat at his game, he didn't say nothing to Kevin Gates, nothing. He was in front row, right there, waiting on him. But you gonna say, hey man, don't be talking about my son to Stephen A., but you couldn't say, don't talk about my wife. I don't know what's worse. What would Freddie G, you the only one married? I know both of them are bad. But if someone talked about your son or your wife, which one you'd be more prone to probably say something to them about? I know both, but which ones? To me, it'll be my wife. But I don't know. I got to ask you, Freddie G.
Okay. There's a lot of moving parts with that.
Yeah.
Now, before I get into it, let me say this. I know that it was about Kevin Gates and Stephen A. Smith and the bully part, but there's a lot of moving parts to me answering that question. But I want to go back and address something you said with Russell Westbrook triple doubles.
Yes, sir.
Versus LeBron's triple doubles.
Correct.
and the amount of time that LeBron was in the league, and the triple doubles he got versus the triple doubles Westbrook got, and how long he was in the league.
Correct.
So, just to make sure I'm correct, LeBron's been in the league for how long?
22 years.
How many triple doubles?
104. 106.
Russell Westbrook been in the league for how long?
15 years.
How many triple doubles?
204.
How long was Michael Jordan in the league?
17 years, 30 triple doubles.
So,
but no, Michael Jordan had Defensive Player of the Year one time.
no,
LeBron never Defensive Player of the Year.
I'm just speaking on.
Okay.
I'm just touching on what you
Right.
spoke about to get to LeBron. I'm not taking
ahead.
up for LeBron or nothing like that.
Go ahead.
But if you're gonna mention it, I want to make sure I address it all.
Okay, go ahead.
So Michael Jordan actually had 28 triple doubles.
You did say 20. Okay, I thought it
You
was
said 30.
I did say 30.
Yeah, but you're close.
Uh-huh.
But so when you compare Russell Westbrook to LeBron in triple doubles, you're making it seem as if Westbrook is a better player. Now, I'm just want to touch on that. That's just how I received it. Now,
I'll touch on it, but go ahead.
in regards to the bully part of it, I think that, man, depending on what was said and how it was said, is whether or not a person addressed an individual. It also depends on how much disdain an individual has for you. Like, for instance, if somebody was constantly talking about me and it was just talking about a family member, whatever, and it was just always bothering me, a la Stephen A. Smith, constantly. And now you've said something, and this is the boiling point. Enough is enough. The next time I see him, I'm going to say something. Versus somebody else that don't say much, and you talking on it or whatever. Okay, man, I don't know you, whatever. You know, you just like everybody else who talk about me. But this guy here may have said something one too many times. So the bottom line is, man, people pick and choose their battles. So when you ask me, who is my son
or your wife,
my wife, or whatever, the bottom line, man, I pick and choose my battles. The bottom line.
Okay, I get it. But LeBron got to go. He got to get off this bus. And with that, that will be our show for today. You guys take it easy. This concludes our show for today. And if you haven't done so already, follow us on X at 52 Scott Podcast. Also, IG and Facebook at the 52 Scott Podcast. Also, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for Black Friday.